there's just things that my father did that it's just, you just can't forgive those type of things. Hello all my sweethearts out there. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on those post notifications to get notified every time I post a glorious video. Also like this video if you enjoy it. So today, this is a highly requested video by my TikTok followers, my Instagram followers, my YouTube subscribers. Everybody want to know what happened to Shelly and her mother. Well, me and my mother have never really gotten along. We have never seen eye to eye. Me and my mother are both Sagittarius. So we're both two headstrong people. Two headstrong people don't always mesh together very well. So when me and my mother would have tiffs, she would make it seem like I was the person who caused all the issues. Now I can't say some things I did say was disrespectful. I can't say that. But in other situations where her children were correct or that her children was telling something that concerned them, my mother completely ignored it. It was always the children's fault. She never took responsibility for her actions, including with my father's situation. My father is an alcoholic. She is afraid, I believe, of my father. She enables him. Whatever my father wants, he gets. If he wants his Hennessy bottle, he gets it. My mother goes out and buys it. It's all just this 9 yards. My father got whatever he wants, but it's completely miserable in his life. But with my mother, we are very different. I feel like she ignored our emotions. We weren't allowed to really feel in my household. If you were sad, you had to keep that to yourself. You couldn't cry in public. Anything that made my mother look like a bad mother to people in public, you couldn't do all that. You couldn't be dramatic. You couldn't show emotion. You couldn't show any type of feeling with my mother in public. You couldn't do it in the house either because she would just ignore it. She'd be like, it's your fault. Why you crying? You're wasting your tears. You're a pathetic person. My mother was very verbally abusive. Sometimes she was physical, but it was mostly just her throwing things at us. But most of it was verbal abuse. She used to always call us fat. She used to talk about our appearance, about how we would never get married or get boyfriends because we were ugly. She would call us different types of names, basically compared to prostitutes. My mother just, she was such a grand woman, she was. But other than that, my mother and I we just never meshed. We just never meshed. When I got injured, I have a permanent scar on my elbow from when I flipped off a scooter because my sister was chasing me, and my whole arm was bleeding from probably up to here, my wrist, all the way up to my elbow. And you know, sometimes if you're a mother, you want to nurture your children back to health, want them to be healthy, want to see what happened. So I went to my mother because my dad wasn't home for the first time ever. And I was like, I scraped up my elbow really bad, and I showed her my elbow. She said, what were you doing? I said, I was playing outside. She said, see, this is why I can't stand having children. Y'all always injuring yourself. I gotta stop what I'm doing to cure you and help you fix your elbow. So I was like, no, never mind, I'll just bleed out. So I was about to walk away. She said, no, come over here, let me fix your elbow since y'all over here want to afflict yourself with injuries. Y'all always trying to get injured for attention. First of all, I didn't expect to flip off the scooter. I did not expect to get injured that day. It's like she thinks that we take all these times in our day and we just decide, okay, I'm finna throw myself down the stairs. I'm finna cut my arm on this table. I'm finna shatter this glass. Some things was just a little bit extravagant, and she always came up with her own stories. Both my parents did. All throughout high school, when me and Kendall were friends, they were always trying to make up these alleged lies. Like supposedly Kendall was taking me to McDonald's to see my boyfriend Tyrone. Tyrone did not exist. I did not have a boyfriend in high school. So I don't know where they got these fabrications of stories from. But my mother was very eccentric when it came to her stories. Everything was always our fault. I sprained my ankle my sophomore year of high school, and I was trying to move because my mother and father decided that they didn't want to pay rent on the apartment because my mother said it was a scam, which everybody knows that rent fluctuates, especially me. Now that I have my own apartment and I live with my roommate, we know that rent fluctuates. It doesn't stay the same every year. It either goes up, goes down, gets higher, gets cheaper. It just fluctuates. My mother considered that as scamming. No, she did not want to pay her bills. So we were condo hopping. From different apartments that she owned or she cleaned one or two times, and we were staying in those. So we had to move all of our stuff in the night. That way we wouldn't get caught by the people who actually owned the apartments. So what happened was I was carrying 2 totes down the stairs and I missed a step and I rolled over my left ankle and completely sprained an ankle probably about this big. Couldn't even feel it. I was in excruciating pain. So I go upstairs because I can't walk anymore. I can't carry no more totes, no nothing. So my mother got angry and said, see, this is why I don't like moving with this girl. She always injuring herself on purpose. She don't want to move. She just a lazy girl. Don't know want to do nothing. She ain't never gonna be nobody. Ain't gonna never have nothing successful in her life. Just going off about how I sprained my ankle on purpose. Now realize, I'm in excruciating pain. Like leg throbbing, injured, my whole entire ankle is swelling as she speaks. I get no type of, you want to go to the urgent care, want to go to the hospital, you need anything. Surprisingly, my father asked me if I wanted to go. I said no, because I'm not about to hear the whole entire time my mother play a facade. I don't know how my daughter got injured. I feel so bad for my sweet baby. I wasn't about to play with the theatrics. So what I decided to do, I soaked my foot in some warm water with Epsom salt and put on a brace and went on about my day. Because I'm not about to put on this whole portray for her to play actress. I'm sipping my tea and getting parched. But anyways, when it comes to my mother and our injuries, she didn't care. When it comes to my mother backing herself, that's the only thing she cared about. My mother was all about herself. She liked to defend herself. And everything that was caused by her, it was everybody else's fault. Never took responsibility for her actions. Even when she married, I don't want to say this because it would be considered slander, but my father did some very ungodly things that I will not speak of, and that is why me and my father do not communicate, because there's just things that my father did that it's just, you just can't forgive those type of things. It just make you look at them sideways. That's all I'm going to say about it. But with my mother, it's a different situation. The only time my mother was very nice was when she was under the influence. That's all I'm gonna say. When she was under the influence, she was super nice, super caring, loving, always wanted us around her. But when she wasn't under the influence, that all goes out the window. So you enjoyed those moments while she under the influence and just having fun, joking, giggling, and everything. But everything was always chaos. And the issue that I also had with my mother is we lived in a domestic violent household. Now I can say that both of the fights were tit for tat. Did my father cause them? Yes, sometimes. Did my mother cause them? Yes, sometimes. Do I believe anybody should be hit for saying a word? No, y'all should be able to talk like adults without having to put your hands on each other. That's what I feel like. But in my household, that was the polar opposite. Everybody had to put their hands on each other, swinging, throwing things, knives flying, they would wear glasses. It was always chaos in my household. But the issue with my mother is she likes to provoke situations. She likes to sit there and poke the bear until the bear decides to eat you. So when my father was upset or he was mad, she would like to poke him. Just poke him and keep poking him until he acts out and rages and lashes out on the whole entire household and try to do something outrageous. Everything always went to chaos. But that was the issue with my mother. She always played the victim card of, I don't know why this happened. I don't know why he did this. Because you're insulting this man and you're making him angry. So my father is very violent and aggressive. So he gets violent and aggressive when you irritate him. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I never got a good night's rest in my house. I never got to watch TV by myself. I never got to relax because you know what I was doing? I was playing mediator to 2 adults. I was the adult as a child in the household. It made no sense, but that was my whole entire childhood. I was helping adults with their tantrums because my parents refused to get therapy. I'm in therapy right now. I'm 22 years old in therapy, trying to recover the 17 years of damage that my parents caused. But anyways, also you couldn't do therapy in my household because my parents said that you're revealing the secrets of the family household. I believe that if you're going to therapy, you're doing it to treat yourself, to help yourself recover. My parents was all about, I need to keep this image of good mother, good father, good children. I wasn't about that. I was about, I need to get myself mentally stable before I hurt everyone in this household. So I decided to go to therapy. My parents had an issue with it, so I had to stop therapy briefly. And then finally, my father did something that irked me to this day. I still see red when I speak about this situation. But he did something to make me angry, and that is how I am here today with my roommate, Ginger and Grayson. I decided that I was not going to live in a situation when I could leave a situation. Technically, when I left, I was an adult. By state of Alabama, you're supposed to be 19 when you leave. But I left when I was 18. Because legally, I'm from Florida. I'm from Florida. Contrary to popular belief, I am from Florida. So at the age of 18, you are considered an adult. And actually, it can be overridden in the state of Alabama that at the age of 18 you can leave. At 19 you can't force somebody to come back to the house. But if I was 16, 17, I would have to go back to the house. But since I was 18, I was able to leave. So I stayed gone. I didn't go back. They were out here threatening Kendall, threatening her sister, saying that they were finna call the cops. I know my parents' injuries, and I know my parents' weaknesses. They do not deal with the police well. They're both two wanted criminals. So no, they wouldn't finna call the police. They like to play bluff. They're very good at Bonnie and Clyde, manipulative. That's all the stuff that went on in my household. But that's why me and my mother don't really get along. She's a very good master manipulator. She loves to act. If you see my mother in the streets, she plays the best role of, I love my children. I am the Mother Mary. Everything was always good in the household. Nobody ever got hit. Nobody ever did anything. The household was just beautiful. Everything was flowers and roses. When it's all a lie. The house is on fire, burning. There is no flowers. All the flowers are dead. The children are arguing. The parents are arguing. There is no food in the refrigerator. There is no lights. There is no water. So what is this whole facade for? Nobody really knows us. We're all playing this facade of we're the perfect family when it's a lie. But that's why me and my mother don't really get along. It was just all the lies that she told, and it just piled, all the lies. I'm pretty sure if my mother told a lie today, she wouldn't remember the lie she told yesterday. It was just a lot. It's a lot. My mother, we will probably never get along because I know she's still the same way that she is now, because she still acts the same. Have me and my mother contacted each other? No. Has my mother called me? No. Have I called my mother? No. Have I texted my mother? No. Will I text my mother? If she changed. That's all I can say about that. But will we ever meet up, link up right now? No, because I see no change. I see no action. I see nothing. I see the same person I saw when I was 17 years old all the way to my younger years. But that is the end of this video. Make sure y'all subscribe and become a part of the Sweetheart community. Make sure y'all like this video. Also, turn on those post notifications, get notified every time I post a glorious video. Y'all have a good day or night where you are. I will see you in the next one. Bye, sweetheart.